It's not too late to get started on Instagram in 2021. Believe it or not, even if you're watching this video in 2022, now is still a great time to get on Instagram and to start marketing your business. And that's because you can look around, you can suss out the competition, you can see what's being done well and what's being done not so well. And that gives you a lot of intel to come to the platform with a really strong strategy. Take it from me, I have lots of experience. I have been working with Instagram in a strategic capacity since 2015. So I have been in this game a long time and I've seen things that work and stand the test of time. And I've seen things that just don't work. A couple of things to caveat before we really get into the video. First of all, there is no point being on Instagram now. There is no point starting on Instagram if you are just going to post pretty photos and you are just being there to have a presence so that you can say you're on Instagram. You can do that, but you won't get results. That won't get cut through on the platform. It's too saturated. The standards are too high. So you really have to come to the platform with a really strong strategy, implement the things that we're going to talk about in today's video, and that will give you the best chance of success. The second thing to say is that this video is really applicable to people who already have a business of some kind. It doesn't have to be your full-time gig. It can be your side hustle, but you should have a business set up in some way already, just to make the advice that I'm going to talk about today really applicable and really actually helpful and valuable. So if you haven't got your business set up yet, then just pause this video, come back to this when you do. So that is just what I wanted to say before we get straight into the first section, which is suss out the competition. The reason you want to suss out the competition is not so that you will copy them, but so that you get inspired and also so that you get an understanding of what is already working with people that look very similar to your ideal customers and clients. It definitely isn't about copying your competitors because Instagram is a saturated place and there are so many of the same type of business on there. There are so many Instagram strategists, there are so many candle brands, there are so many soap companies, there are so many graphic designers. Now, this doesn't mean that there isn't a place for you on the platform, but it just means that you want to understand where the quality is so that you can at least achieve that quality of content and messaging and approach, but also so that you can do something a little bit different. And I know saying doing something different and doing something better feels a bit vague, but just know that even coming on the platform as yourself, offering your unique perspective, your unique thoughts and opinions on your industry, and offering a solution to your ideal customer's problem, your approach to that is going to be different because there's nobody that is like you. You are the only you on the planet, but definitely just suss out the competition, see what others are doing so that you know what is already resonating. It's good to have that strategic knowledge in your mind and then come and do something a bit different and a little bit better. So the next thing to do is to decide your primary goal on Instagram. Now this can change from month to month or quarter to quarter, depending on what your bigger business objectives are for that season in your business. So for example, your primary goal might be grow awareness. And you could measure that by tracking your reach and your followers on Instagram and increasing those over time. Your primary goal might be to increase engagement or to get engagement on the platform. And you can measure that by an increase in comments, saves, and shares. Or another goal you might have on Instagram is conversions. And you could measure that by an increase in email subscribers or app downloads or product sales. Now, I'm saying or because again, you want to be quite specific. So if your goal on Instagram is conversions, then you don't want to be measuring email subscribers and product sales and app downloads. That's a lot of goals that you're trying to achieve. And because of the nature of Instagram, because it is a social media platform and it is very built around community and engaging with content, it isn't a search engine like YouTube or Google. It is a little bit more difficult to try and funnel traffic off of Instagram somewhere else. So unlike YouTube, which is really good at getting me organic traffic to my website and also to my Instagram account, Instagram isn't so good at sending traffic away from itself. So it's not so good at sending traffic to a website or to an Etsy store or even to a YouTube channel. And so for that reason, you want to just make your primary goal and your primary objective on Instagram really focused and really singular, because you'll be more likely to achieve it. And when you have one primary goal for that month or that quarter, it means that you can be really targeted with your content. You can be really focused with it. If you know that your goal is to increase email subscribers, you can be really deliberate with the content you put out and the messaging you share on Instagram stories. You can be really deliberate about making sure that ultimately you are trying to drive people to download your lead magnet or to get their hands on your incentive, like your 10% discount code, so that they get onto your email list. You can be really focused on that. And in that way, you'll be far more likely to achieve your goal. The next thing that I would do is choose your content types, i.e. the formats that you are going to use on Instagram regularly. So for example, are you going to share reels and carousel posts and photos regularly? Are you just going to share reels? Are you just going to share carousel posts? To help you make this decision, you really need to weigh up both your skills and your capacity. So do you have the skills to regularly create video content? And do you have the time and the capacity and the bandwidth yourself? Or do you have someone that you can work with to help you do this? Another thing to think about, of course, is where do you show up best? So are you best on camera and therefore video content would probably be the best type of format for you to use? Or are you much more kind of creative and you much prefer writing? And so actually sharing carousels regularly is going to be much more realistic and actually you'll show up there much better. Now, while it is really important to weigh up your skills and your capacity, it is also, of course, really important to be mindful of the types of content that do well on Instagram, because you want to capitalize on that. Just because you are a great writer doesn't mean that you should just stick to one type of content at the expense of things like short form video, which are doing really well on every platform, but especially Instagram right now. So it is just bearing that in mind as well. So skills, capacity, and also what is doing well, what is likely to get you the most reach and the most engagement on the platform. Now, the reason we're talking about content strategy is because if you don't have a strategy, you may well be posting content and you may be doing so fairly consistently, but you won't really be posting with any kind of purpose, and therefore you won't get the results that you are looking for. So let's use the whiteboards to really just break this down and keep it really simple. So essentially, your sales funnel looks like this, and ultimately with a sales funnel, it looks like a funnel and it is leading towards a conversion. So ultimately, we want people to convert. Now, a conversion doesn't always have to mean someone purchasing something from you or investing in your service. It can mean them joining your email list or filling out an application form to work with you one-on-one. But for the purposes of today, let's say that the conversion we want is somebody to make a purchase. We want them to buy our product or to invest in a package of ours if we are a service provider. So how do we get them to make that conversion? If we imagine that this is somebody hitting follow at the top of the funnel, so all of this area around the funnel is people on Instagram users that don't yet know we exist, and there's so many of them. But when they first enter our funnel is when they hit follow. They know we exist. They are now aware of us. How do we get them down to this conversion? Well, we use different types of content, 4 different types of content to be exact. We have shareable, soulful, service, and sales. In other words, the SSSS framework. So these are different types of content. Now, shareable content, this is content you create that is designed to be shared by your existing audience. And the reason it's at the top of the funnel is because if people share your content with their friends and family and their direct communities via Instagram stories, you are going to get in front of more eyeballs. You are going to get in front of their audiences. And the beauty of that is that some of those people that see your content are going to hit follow. They're going to have discovered you because whatever content you shared struck a nerve with your audience and therefore some of the people in their audiences. And therefore you're going to get some people hitting follow. So they discover that you exist, they hit follow. This is the beauty of shareable content. It gets you in front of more people. Then we have soulful content. Now, soulful content is that human, more relatable, personal content. Now, if you are the face of your brand, if you're a coach, a creative, a consultant, then this is just where you peel back the curtain a little bit more and you share a bit more about you. you can be a bit more vulnerable with this content, or you can just be a bit more human. So you can talk about why you started your business. You can talk about business milestones, highs, lows. You can introduce yourself again to new followers. This is the content where you're really showing people that you are somebody that your audience could like and know and start to trust. Let's say you're a product-based business and you don't really show your face. It's very much about the product. You can still share this type of content. This is where, again, you share more behind the scenes of the business. You talk about why you got started. You talk about your business mission and values, the stuff that really is the reason that you exist as a business, why you're here, your bigger purpose, your bigger mission. Then we have service content. So this content is in service of your followers. It's helpful, informative, educational. Think of tips and tricks and tutorials. This type of content is enriching your followers' lives in some small way. It's giving them value. It's informing them, educating them. It's making their lives better or a bit easier or a bit healthier or a bit happier. And if you can be in service of your followers with your content, this shows them the value that you will provide with your paid for products and services. Now, the beauty of sharing these types of content is that these are all working to nurture your followers, so that when the time comes for you to share sales content, which is talking about the benefits of your product, having a simple, lovely product shot where you talk about the ingredients or the manufacturing process or the USP of the product, why it's so amazing, why people have to get their hands on it. When you share customer testimonials, when you talk about a flash sale or a promotion you're running, people are primed and ready to buy because they've been nurtured. Remember, very few people are going to hit follow and then are going to be ready to buy. Very few, if anybody. So if you can share these types of content, then when you share your sales content, people will be ready to buy. And that is how you start developing a content strategy that is really strategic and is really mindful of the customer journey and your sales funnel. So I couldn't make a video about starting an Instagram for Business account in 2021/2022 without talking about the importance of starting to collect people's email addresses. This is so important, and I almost want to tell you to go and sort this out before you even start thinking about Instagram, because it's all very well and good to start attracting followers to your Instagram account and to start nurturing them and building relationships with them. That is really valuable. But what if Instagram disappeared tomorrow? What if something dreadful happened? What if you lost your account? What if somebody hacked it? There are no 100% certainties when it comes to social media platforms that we don't own. So rather than just having those people, those potential customers and clients as your followers on Instagram, start to get them off of Instagram and onto your email list, because you own your email list. And if, God forbid, anything were to happen to Instagram, you would still be able to stay in touch with those people. So if you haven't already got an email marketing platform that you use, then definitely go and investigate that right now. I have used ConvertKit in the past, which I love. Their customer service is really good, but there are loads out there like Flowdesk and ActiveCampaign and MailerLite. So go find an email provider that you like, that fits within your budget, and then think about how you will start getting people on your email list. Ultimately, people are not going to give you their email address for nothing. You need to give them something in exchange for their email address. Typically, if you are a service provider, a creative, a coach, a consultant, the best way to get people onto your email list is to offer some kind of lead magnet or freebie, in other words. So it could be a template, a guide, a video, an email series, a workbook, a checklist. And there's so many things that you could create. It is free and it should be a quick win, really value packed, but not too dense. If you are a product-based business, you may not have a lead magnet that looks quite like that, but you may have some kind of other incentive. So you might have free shipping in exchange for an email address. You might have a special discount code if people join your email list. Or you might want to do something a little bit more creative, like Warby Parker. They have a really beautiful, simple quiz that they have on their website. Straight there on the landing page, when you land on their website, it's the first thing you see. And what it does is, through 4 or 5 questions, it will guide you to finding the type of glasses that are most suitable for you. It asks things like, what style of glasses do you like? What kind of color? What kind of finish? And what is your face shape? And then at the end, if you want to find out the answers for the recommended glasses, you have to enter your email address. So if you are a product-based business or an e-commerce brand, that type of lead magnet or freebie, like a quiz, is a really great way to get email addresses as well. Next, you want to craft your bio. So I'm not going to talk about this in huge detail because I think that there's a lot of focus on your bio when there are other more important things to worry about. But I will just say, make sure that your bio is working for you as hard as it possibly can. So in the name section of your bio, if you're a service provider or a creative or a consultant, have the keyword that is most related to the service you offer. So graphic design, SEO consultant, health coach. If you're a product-based business, again, if you are not yet very established and you're a very new baby business, then I wouldn't necessarily recommend just having your brand name in there. I would think about having a keyword in there as well, because that is the only section right now, and Instagram search and the hashtags is changing. But as of now, that is the only discoverable element of your bio, that bold name section. So get the most out of it by putting a keyword in there. And when it comes to the rest of your bio, just make sure it's really hyper relevant. So again, make sure you're including information like who you help or who your product is best for and how you uniquely help them, or what the USP is of your product. Don't have any fluff in there. Don't say that you're a dog mum or you are a sun worshipper. All of that stuff is irrelevant. Really think about the information that matters to the person that you want to reach, that ideal customer. They don't care about whether you love coffee or whether you're a TV addict. They don't care about any of that. And for goodness sake, make sure you have a call to action. So remember, we talked about your primary goal at the beginning of this video. Whatever that primary goal is, specify it in your bio. So if you want people to get on your email list, encourage them to get on it by saying, download our free checklist or purchase our latest collection with 10% off. Whatever it is, make sure you have a really clear call to action in there, directing people to that URL so that they go and take that action. It's really difficult to maintain momentum on Instagram, particularly when you're a business owner and you're spinning a million different plates. It's really difficult to maintain momentum and gain traction on Instagram when you are approaching Instagram one post at a time. So what I mean by that is you know vaguely what content you're going to share for the week, but you are waiting for Monday and then Wednesday and then Friday, or whenever you're planning to share content. You're waiting for that day to come before you sit down and design the graphic or make the reel and write the caption and find the hashtags and all of the tasks that go into publishing a piece of content. If you're approaching your content like that, it's really draining and it's really time consuming. So please, especially if you are new to Instagram and you haven't yet really shared any content on there, you have a great opportunity to get into the habit of content planning, of planning at least 2 weeks ahead of time so that you're never chasing your tail, desperately scrabbling to post content on Instagram and then getting overwhelmed and then eventually just having big breaks and taking time away from Instagram because you can't keep up. If you want to find out any more about content planning, I've linked to my new SKILLSHARE class in the description box below. It's free if you sign up for a free trial of SKILLSHARE's premium membership. So I'll link all the details below, and that's a really short and really great class to check out to show you exactly how to content plan on a regular basis. And last but definitely not least, you want to check your insights regularly. Don't reinvent the wheel every single month when you do sit down to content plan, thinking, oh my God, now I have to come up with fresh new ideas. I need to think of something cool and original to keep people coming back for more. No, you don't. What will keep people coming back for more is you looking over the content you've been sharing and noticing what is working, noticing what is getting the most saves, the most shares, what is sparking the most comments and conversation. Do more of that. Success leaves clues, and the only way you're going to know what your audience wants is by having a close eye, keeping a close eye on your Instagram insights. It might feel a bit intimidating at first if you haven't really ever looked at that area of your app, But the more you check in there and the more familiar you get, the sooner you will feel really comfortable going in there and analyzing what you can see. That's all for this week's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you feel a little bit more comfortable about setting up an Instagram for Business account in 2021, 2022 and beyond. I share a video about Instagram marketing every single Friday at 5 p.m. GMT. So definitely hit the subscribe and bell button if you haven't already, so you keep in the loop and you never miss a video. And just before you go, don't forget to check out these two videos right here. One that I mentioned earlier is all about how to create really great Instagram content. And this video here is a closer look at the strategy we walked through today in this video using the SSSS framework. I will see you next week for a brand new one. Thank you for watching. Bye.